Some good stuff. My internet's working. I did a speed test and running at a blazing 115 megabits per second, so that's a good thing. Whereas yesterday we were barely making 30 and everything shut down. So guys, I want to welcome you to Caliber Corner episode number 108, and today we're going to talk about the 450 Bushmaster. I don't know why I say it like that. I just do. 450 Bushmaster is going to be the point of discussion for today. We did have a chat about 350 Legend last night over on Rich White's channel called Unloaded Media. I want you guys to get over there and check it out. I will put a link to that video in this video in the comment section after the video post, and you guys can go check it out. We had a great discussion about 350 Legend, the idea behind it, the point behind it. Should you invest in it? Should you not? The cost of the ammo. We're basically going to do the same thing. So these calibers that we're discussing, these are calibers that were requested by all of you on my 224 Valkyrie giveaway video. Predominantly 300 Blackout was probably one of the #1 requested calibers to discuss, and we had a pretty lengthy discussion on that a couple weeks ago. After that, it would have been like the 6.5 series, you know, the Creedmoor, Grendel, stuff like that. Well, in front of it was split between 450 Bushmaster and 458 SOCOM. So we're going to be talking about, hopefully I've been live. We'll see what's going on here. Today we're going to talk about the 450 Bushmaster. We're going to compare it to 458 SOCOM, 50 Beowulf. We'll talk about some platform options if you want to get into it. We'll look at some ammo costs, the idea behind it. There's a lot of requests for that. So let's see. Keyword is saying hi. 10X Shooter saying, what's up at Travis P11? Dude, I'm doing pretty good, man. SS Pawn is in the house. There's a lot of people that are going to be joining in. This is not my regular time. I want to apologize. We had a serious internet meltdown yesterday. Basically, half the city lost their internet connection. It was pretty bad. I'm in a small town of 10,000. So whenever somebody shoots doves off of a wire, they usually cut our internet connection to the town where everything comes in from, or some guy digs in his backyard without calling first. Half the town loses the internet connection, which is really bad. And so we did have the episode again last night over on Rich White's channel, Unloaded Media. You can find the last episode of Caliber Corner number 107 over there. And hopefully we'll have a few more people joining in this podcast. I didn't give a lot of notice to people today about this, and this is 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. A lot of people are coming home. So we'll see what's going on. So Tahuya Bar and Grill says 5 by 5, Travis. All right, man. I think we can do this. So I got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I'm excited. So today we're going to focus on 450 Bushmaster. I think next week we'll talk about 458 SOCOM, so we can have 350, 450, 458 covered, and then we can dabble a lot in 6.5 Creedmoor and 6.5 Grendel. And I'm going to go back and look at a lot of those calibers that you guys requested in that video, because there's a lot of really good suggestions. There was quite a few for calibers like 4570, 338 Lapua. I've shot a lot of these calibers, but I don't own firearms in these calibers, so we're strictly giving you the history of the caliber. We're going to look at ballistics. We're going to look at the price to get into the platform, the ammo options. Now, in all honesty, guys, 9 months ago, we covered 450 Bushmaster, 458 SOCOM, and 350 Legend as soon as it came out in like a 3-week series that we did. Big bore calibers and stuff like that. But there's more ammo selection out there now. There's more platform options out there if you want to get into shooting it. And again, for some of you, you have to shoot these calibers if you want to deer hunt, because that's what the law says you have to use. So in some places, these calibers that we're going to discuss, they're a reaction or kind of a marketing idea going along with new laws that allow these straight wall cartridges, which in some of these states, it's only been the last couple of years that you can fire a caliber like, 450 Bushmaster or 350 Legend for deer hunting because of the specifications of the round. Nerf Pua, yeah, 338 Nerf Pua, that's a classic. You guys got to check out the video on that. I did a nut and fancy style video on the 338 Nerf Pua caliber. It's pretty cool. It's a Nerf gun that was developed by MARSOC Marines to dispatch small rodents on naval vessels, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, Squib, if you're free, do you want to go ahead and just say a few words and tell us about your channel and what can one expect to find if they go there? Squib, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here, and thanks for understanding. Yeah, I'm at work at the plastics factory, but right now, I think nobody's over here. Yeah, I've got a channel, Squibload, 2 words. I've also got a B channel that I haven't really put a lot into lately, but I plan to, and that's Squiblift, 1 word. You can thank Sandhill Shooter for that name. But my primary channel, this channel, Squibload, I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's about the Second Amendment and firearms, but I also talk about other interests that I have. Like, I'm a rail fan. I'm into trains, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do gardening. I was going to put some auto repair videos on there, but really haven't done much with that. I'm also into reptiles. I've only got one of my reptile videos on there, but I have made some others. I just I think what I want to do is make a few more and then just start posting them like a series. I also kind of do some videos jabbing it at you guys. I've jabbed at Travis. I jab at Midnight Range every week with a closer video, Bawoosh, and that's a running joke. If you're not familiar with it, whenever you talk about his show on Sunday nights, you're supposed to make a toilet sound.
It took me a while to catch on to that because I thought the show was actually pretty good. I mean, I wasn't catching on. I thought it was just kind of a funny joke amongst friends, but now I see what the intention is. So
yeah, it's just a running joke. So I'm going all across the country flushing toilets for him and filming it, which is really kind of an awkward thing. But yeah, anyhow, and I do some other type stuff, but the whole point is that even though some channels focus primarily on one thing, and there's nothing wrong with that, I kind of want to show that gun owners are regular people like everybody else. We have other interests, we have other hobbies, we have families, we have, and that's the kind of image that I want to portray for maybe somebody out there who thinks that we're just all focused on this and we don't do anything else and we live and breathe and eat and sleep guns and that's it. But I do have some gun videos on the way. I just want to do a little bit more filming before I release them. It's nothing spectacular, but I'm having a lot of fun. Oh yeah, and I do coffee reviews because of you. Thanks.
Hey, there you go. A fellow caffeine addict, right?
Yeah. Well, I shot one yesterday morning, and I haven't published it. And I'll be shooting another one this Saturday. So I'm trying out a lot more coffee than I ever did because of you, Travis. And,
did you like that Casey's?
Yeah,
Casey's,
I did.
Their coffee is a good coffee, man. Yeah, Casey's gas stations. Yeah. I
was at a Casey's in Indiana, and they didn't have coffee for sale. And they, the clerks there hadn't even heard of any other Casey's selling the coffee. They even looked underneath the counter to see if there was any
UPC
bags
codes on the packet,
with a barcode or something that they could bring up, and no. So I tried to. I was in Indiana last week, and I was trying to bring some home, but I ended up bringing home some coffee from Ohio and from Arizona. So I've got some reviews coming, and my reviews aren't as good as yours. I do try to do what you like smell it and look at a color, and I did find a really, really good coffee that was suggested to me by a friend out in Arizona, and I've had it setting in my house for months, and I totally forgot I had it, and the stuff was really good. So it's kind of a long video though, so partway through you might fall asleep and go, just get to the point. Is it good or not?
Dude, I'm fascinated by this stuff. I'm not a coffee snob. I will sit down and drink Folgers Instant with the next person. Mm-hmm. There's just certain varieties that I really enjoy the flavor and the profile, and when you drink enough of this stuff, you start studying the regions where it comes from. You start to kind of develop a palate for that type or that flavor, that region. There's different characteristics that you start to pick up on. That's after years and years. I mean, like I said, I'm not picky, man. I'll drink Maxwell House and my grandma's, or I will drink, some of the best freaking single origin, whatever, Estancia grown, Shade Tree, Fair Harvest, whatever, it does not matter. So,
well, I have a lot of fun making the videos. I mean, they're a little bit of work. They're not that much work. And what I've noticed that I won't drink coffee. I'll first thing in the morning I'll film this thing, right? So I haven't had coffee, so I sound like this. I'm like, hi, welcome to the stovetop. We're gonna do some coffee, and then by the
time
all
jacked up by the end of the video.
Oh yeah, by the fourth cup, I'm like, man, this is some awesome stuff.
Fourth cup.
No, but I have a lot of fun with it, so I appreciate. Thank you for the idea, and thank you for giving me some pointers on making my videos better, even though they're not going to be that good. So yeah, and I don't like promoting my stuff too much either because there's nothing spectacular. So somebody might tune in that goes, "This is boring." Some people are like, the train videos are boring. Okay, that's not for you. And that's fine. But the whole premise of the channel is I'm a gun guy, I'm a Second Amendment guy, but I do other things, and a lot of us have a lot of other things that we do, and just have fun, network out with our friends, and promote the Second Amendment.
Right on, man. Right on. Heck yeah. Yeah, you got a great channel. There's a lot of good content, a lot of variety. And I can't wait to see more of your gun reviews, man. That's going to be awesome. That'd be cool to have you out there putting those out there. Because have you reviewed firearms? I know it's going to sound stupid. You've talked about reloading before. I watched all your Speaking Squibbish. I honestly don't know if have you posted any?
No,
it's not that I don't care about your channel, but I mean, I'm trying to think of everything you put up there. And it's like,
dude, after a while, you get to so many videos, even on there going, did I do this already? So yeah I know you've got to be there going, wow, I've got to go back through the files and.
Oh, I have to type the name. It's like, did I review this ammo?
I've done some stuff where I've done things with firearms. So actually having a firearm out where I reviewed it, I'm going to say maybe notes. But I did an unboxing already on a new firearm, and I shot it in 2 parts because it was way too long. And I posted part 1 on Gunstreamer, and I'm going to post part 2 on Gunstreamer this week. I just keep forgetting to do it. I want it on Gunstreamer before I put it on YouTube. Yeah. I've also done that. Like I did a reloading video where I did 3 different versions. I did it was the same thing, but I'm showing it 3 different ways. And I did a YouTube version, a GunTube version, and a Gunstreamer version, and that took like a week or 2 to film. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah. And I said I'm probably never going to do this again. But I did another. I think this firearm review that I did that I split in 2 parts. The Gunstreamer version is longer. On part 1 or part 2. The Gunstreamer version is longer than the YouTube version. So I'm just trying to mix it up and have a little fun. I'm having fun with this.
That's what's important, man. That's why I do a lot. Like I'll just do like a cheese review, man, because why not? I want to tell somebody about this because if they don't like it, maybe I can save them a couple bucks and they just happen to find a review for cheese on a gun channel. I mean, seriously, who cares, man? If I'm going to talk about it and eat it, or if I'm going to eat it, I might as well just turn the camera on and have some fun with it,
Yeah, okay, and you can yeah, you can you'll get people that'll comment or subscribe or whatnot that you'll find out that they're into motorcycles or they've got reptiles too or they're into gardening or they're rail fans or whatever it is, and maybe they're not gun people, but they're not totally.
Oh, did you mute yourself there, Squib? Here, let me unmute you. All right, go ahead, bud.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you can, if, like I'll do videos on different things and some people will comment or subscribe or whatever and come to find out they're into gardening or they're into motorcycles or they're into reptiles or they're rail fans or they like to travel and hike in the desert or whatever else I've done, or they think my videos about Midnight Range TM are reviews of bathrooms across the country or whatever it is, right? and they're not really, maybe they're not gun people or they're gun people, but they're not as vocal. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are the silent majority in the Second Amendment community or just gun people. And they're not put off by the fact that I've got a video where I'm changing out a muzzle brake or I'm doing a reload or I've blown up some tannerite. That one's coming. It's not nothing special, tannerite versus old dryer. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, we're going to address some comments and questions real quick that are popping up already on the YouTube side here. So Travis T, he was getting lippy with me here a second ago. What did he say? Mountain Dew is greater than coffee. Here's the thing, Travis T. Up until 10 years ago, that was me. I was a Code Red for breakfast Mountain Dew guy. I got into a habit. You want to talk about a gut buster? My dad was a habitual Mountain Dew consumer when I was a kid. It gave him ulcers, and he eventually got off of it. Then 10 years ago, my grandma got a Keurig maker. And you can say, well, Keurig makes terrible coffee. It's not for coffee purists. Well, a Keurig maker is like a gateway drug into the coffee world because once you get a Keurig, you can suddenly get all these different varieties and types from all these different regions. It's almost like the high point of coffee makers. Like it doesn't do anything really well, but it works. And it gives you the opportunity to experience, the Keurig gives you different varieties of coffees to make, where the High Point gives you different varieties of ammo to test out, and you kind of make a hobby out of it, right? And so after Grandma got the Keurig maker, my mom got one, and then I had to get one. And then 10 years ago, I switched from Mountain Dew over to coffee, and I've never gone back. I'll drink soda once in a while. Like right now, I'm having a Dr. Pepper, but I'm not a habitual soda drinker at all. I do occasionally like an energy drink now and then, and so on. But, I can't blame you. Mountain Dew is pretty good. So, all right, some of the comments here. Tannerite isn't legal here anymore. Calavera says. Squibblo's Midnight Range says Squibblo popping cross America. D-Temp62 says Mountain Dew is North Carolina table wine. Travis T says south of the deep south. D-Temp62 says, what's up?
North Carolina table? No, that's Duplin is North Carolina table wine, those muscadine grapes. And he'll know what I'm talking about. But,
all right.
Duplin is a winery in North Carolina. Mountain Dew is not North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm from North Carolina. Mountain Dew is not North Carolina table. You get Duplin.
D-Temp, them's fighting words, D-Temp. Let's see. Travis T, D-Temp62 says Mountain Dew has coffee. You must be from the South. Travis T says, I don't drink coffee, but it's also hot 310 to 10 days a year here. Yeah, if it's super hot outside, I won't have a coffee until the evening, till it cools down a little bit. Dog Dad says, what do you think of the rubber talon grips? The G2C grips kills my skin during carry, and I'm not an undershirt guy. Well, I just happen to have a G3 sitting around right now, okay? Clear. And it has the same grip texture as your G2C, G2S, PT111, G2. It is abrasive, and a lot of people say, well, just, nut up and just wear it. Don't worry about it. This thing will just rub you raw until you start bleeding, basically. You can say, be a tough guy and do it. I have carried this before, all right? Well, I've also carried a PT111 G2 a lot inside the waistband. I had to have an undershirt. I would say if you put something on the inside panel here, anything you said, the rubber talon grips, that would probably make up for it. A lot of guys just kind of smooth. They'll sand this down a little bit so it's not quite so aggressive, and then it doesn't rub as bad on their skin. But usually if you wear an undershirt, you're going to be okay. But even then, if you start to sweat, it'll start to catch and rub pretty bad. I mean, the trade-off is that you got a super aggressive, grippy texture, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about it. So yeah, I would say definitely go with those rubber talon grips if you want to protect your skin. But yeah, that's one of the downfalls of this gun. I mean, it's definitely a positive feature. It's worth the trade-off, is having that nice, being able to make that nice purchase on there. But it is definitely going to hurt you if you're not used to it. So what else do we have here, guys? Calvera says, is there cases in Arizona, Oklahoma, New Mexico, or Texas? They might be in Oklahoma. Once you start to get into like Oklahoma, you start to run into a lot more Bosselmans and there's just select chains that you get when you go down south. Casey's is more of like an Iowa, Indiana, Nebraska, maybe a few Colorado, Kansas kind of chain. They do have some absolutely killer pizza. It's kind of funny. Military Arms Channel Mac, he went to his family's home in Iowa. He was visiting, I think, his parents or somebody, and he was talking about having Casey's pizza, and it was delicious. It's some of the best pizza anywhere. So D&D Airsoft says, yes, Casey's coffee. They do have like 4 or 5 different varieties, and it's really, really good, really, really good coffee. Really, there isn't a cup of coffee I won't drink as long as it's not decaf. So midnight range, what's that?
There's only one Casey's in Michigan. It's 3 hours away in western Michigan. So unfortunately, it's a bit of a road trip if I want to attempt to get any more coffee to bring home.
I'll send it to you. I will just go and drop in the mail. I'm sure they'll sell me pouches of it. They might even have the UPC versions of it where you can buy it to take with you. In fact, they sell it up at the registers here where I live. They have it right there. You can get a packet of it to take home, and it'll make you usually 2 pots typically.
All right. Send me some of that. I'll send you the Speedway Brazilian.
Oh, that works. That works. And I still have some of the coffees you sent me. This winter, I'm going to do a lot more coffee tests because I'll have time off over the holidays to actually brew a full pot and drink it. Because a lot of what I brew is I do up at school, and I won't be filming videos up at school. So Midnight Range says you need to do the 17 incinerator. Yeah, the 17 HSMI, is that what we call that again? Midnight Range. That is the round that is faster than the sound of anything. It's faster. It's the most vicious mini magnum small caliber round on the planet. If you ever get a chance, look up the 17. Type in Travis P11 .17 HSMI. I think is what you call it. It's made by Flock Industries out of Germany. That is a wicked, wicked round. It will drop a reindeer at 80 yards with one shot, and you don't even have to hit a critical area. It just down. So I'm kidding, guys. That's all a lie. So, but yeah, 17 Incinerator was a April Fool's video that I did 2 years ago or last year. I guess we got Wanamaker going on this weekend too, right? Believe that's coming up here. Rich, we got Wanamaker going on. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
This weekend coming up.
So my hero, Rich White, is here. He saved Caliber Corner last night. Rich, how you doing, man?
Not too bad.
All right. You having a good day, Rich? You doing good?
I just got done. I was in a game, and I just noticed what time it was. I'm like, oh, crap.
That's all right, man. It's all good. I appreciate you being here again. We're going to see if this actually works. By the way, I'm burning at a steady 110, 115 megabits per second. I ran some speed tests before we went live. Yeah, yesterday was just slowly cutting us off, and then it died at 555. So Rich, why don't you tell us a little about your channel, man? What can one expect to find if they go there?
Well, they can find the last episode of Caliber Corner, number 107, from yesterday. And then every Sunday, or just about every Sunday, we have This Week Unloaded at around 8 Eastern. Or we just have a little panel show where we talk about a couple one, maybe two topics, and then whatever else comes to mind, we just go and talk about until Midnight Range sends the invites out to his show.
You said it was Unloaded Media's name of your channel, right?
Yeah, this Unloaded Media is the channel, and This Week Unloaded is the show.
Cool, man. Cool. All right. Well, appreciate you being here, and thank you for saving me last night so we could at least get the 350 Legend discussion out there. It was definitely a lot of fun, and it's only one caliber. I mean, there's only so much we could talk about on a caliber that's only been out for less than a year, but it was an interesting discussion, and there's a lot of options and applications for it. So I do appreciate you hosting that.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Cool. Also joining us is the Kingpin, David. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Thanks for having me, Travis.
Cool, man. Appreciate you being here again. We'll see how this goes and see if it actually stays connected. So, all right, man. Hey, so Kingpin, real quick, do you have any videos coming up on your channel? Any content coming up we should be watching for?
I'm kind of in a transitional period right now. I'm gonna lay off on buying guns for a little while so I can do some other stuff. Maybe even start getting reloaded.
Hey, man. I'll buy them for you.
Nice.
Actually, I bought that one because of you. I blame you for that. So I'm still.
Hey, I'll take the guilty plea for that one. That's for sure.
That's just when your friends talk you into buying an SR 1911. Just say yes. Why say no when it feels so good to say yes? That's all I got to say. All right.
Exactly.
Oh, man. All right. So what else we got going on here? Wendy Howler says the pizza is greasy, delicious, fat kid pizza. It is fantastic. You do want to sop up some of that. I mean, it's not. It's an like if you take the grease off with a napkin, the pizza at Casey's is really, really good. The breakfast pizza is the bomb, man. Wendy Howler says Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota have Casey's as well. It's not like Wawa good. Those of you who live out on the East Coast know what Wawa is out there, in Jersey and that neck of the woods. I don't know if it's necessarily as epically awesome as that, but they have a pretty good food selection. And it's definitely tasty, man. So what else we got here? I have a Keurig hot apple cider in it is the bomb when it's cold outside. Yeah, the hot apple cider is good. I think it's the Green Mountain Company hot cider is a really good one. Ooh, Foos is with us. The Foos is loose. Foos, how you been, brother? What's going on, man?
I am doing okay. If you guys can hear me.
We're talking about cheese. We're talking about coffee. We're talking about pizza. We just showed off some guns. I mean, you want to add something to the conversation?
Chili?
Chili's good. Hormel chili, yes or no?
No. Homemade.
I don't always have time to make it though, man. That's part of the problem. So yeah.
And actually, I instead of making it with ground turkey like I usually do, I made it with ground chicken. It's pretty good.
Ooh, there you go. I mean, do you really notice with the ground turkey? Do you notice much different in the flavor between that and beef once you drain it and mix everything in with it?
Not at all.
Just your arteries notice the difference, right?
Absolutely. I guess.
So,
maybe.
yes. I'm just laughing at Midnight Range.
Hormel chili is for hot dog sandwiches.
Mm-hmm. Hashtag not a sandwich.
Not for just chili. You don't take Hormel chili and put some beans in there and say, oh, we got chili for dinner. That's for hot dog sandwiches.
Yep.
Yeah. And then with that, I'm having some Black Rifle coffee.
Mm-hmm.
With
which one did you get? Did you get JB or did you get Murdered Out or what?
No, I like the medium roast. So this one's
Smooth Sniper blend.
No, that's way too smooth. No, I go AK and I think CB.
Okay,
and I think I have CB right now. But when it comes to October, I turn into a white teenage chick, and I have to have everything with pumpkin spice.
So I have what taste?
so I have pumpkin spice in there.
You ought to see the. I mean, I understand that we're not allies with Starbucks. My wife likes to go there. All right, so I do get just regular coffee, and you ought to see the looks I get from people when they order all their fancy schmancy beverages and they're sitting there waiting, scowling. The people waiting for a Starbucks beverage are some of the most unhappy looking human beings on the planet. When you're ever there, just watch them. They're just they're like vultures circling, waiting for that squirrel to flop over on the countertop so they can snatch it and fly off with it. Just watch them sometime. And I'm laughing because I'm like, they hand me my cup. I'm like, thank you. And I walk away. And then you get that one a-hole. What'd you get us drink before ours? Well, it's because I just wanted black coffee. I didn't want, non-GMO, mocha, frappe, soy, sustainably harvested, air, bubble tea, jojoba.
So something I like to do is I'll sit there and listen for names in front of me.
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, what's your name?" And I'll say one of their names just to screw them over. And I'll say it loud enough to where they can hear me. So whenever they say, hey, Craig, or whatever that name is, they'll like kind of look at you. I'm like, what?
We should do some reaction videos from Starbucks where we put controversial names on coffee cups, like Donald Trump or just to see what happens. They'll just throw it at you.
No,
I don't recommend putting DJ Trump on your name on coffee because who knows what they're going to do to it.
Yeah,
decon goes in there. A couple decon flakes go in there. Yeah. Oh man, you don't make it home alive. So
here at home, I'll take this, fill it halfway with coffee, and then the other half of the way with eggnog.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Now, is that adult eggnog or is that just eggnog? Just regular eggnog. Eggnog, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
go ahead, Foos.
You guys are talking about Watermaker. Who's all going?
Yeah. I can't because we got to drop money into rebuilding a part of our bathroom now before we sell the house. So
did your deuce hit that hard? Damn.
No, our bathtub has a crack in it and it is screwed. So we have to get that replaced before the inspection. So we got the plumber coming over on Thursday to talk to us about the install. So it's going to be a little pricey, unfortunately, but which is fine. I mean, we're going to be okay with selling the house, but
cool.
What do we got here? Travis C said, I tried Real Cuban coffee, have a bathroom nearby, but you'll be wired for hours. Yeah. Real Cuban coffee is generally like a little cup of espresso with a lot of sugar in it, if I'm not mistaken. You can use what's called a Mocha Pot Express, and it's this little tank that you pour water in, and then you screw your carafe on the top of it. And you have like a little basket you put your coffee in. You can use whatever you want, like espresso or regular coffee or whatnot, and you screw the carafe on the top. You put it right on your burner, and you run it for just a minute before it starts to boil, and you take it off, and it brews up a little percolated cup of coffee, and then you mix that with sugar. And if you use like Cafe Bustelo, you get what's considered Cuban coffee. Really, really good stuff. Tennessee Gun Guy says he's going to Tulsa. Calavera Special says I'm going to go to Tulsa. SS Pond will be down there. I want you guys to look for him. He's going to look in the same area as usual for the Gun Channels table. And so hopefully can run into some of you guys while he's down there.
I'm going to head over there Saturday and come back Saturday.
Okay. So D-Temp, real quick, are you speaking Spanish? Because you say soy vanilla mocha frappuccino. Are you saying I am a vanilla mocha frappuccino, or is that your beverage of choice, the soy vanilla mocha frappuccino? I'm just curious because being a Spanish teacher, I just automatically see stuff as Spanish when it looks like it. So we'll have to check in with you here in a little bit on that.
¿Está café?
Sí, yo soy una copa de café. All right, so let's get into the first topic here real quick. And Foos, I want to thank you because I'm still shooting the sport shooter's ammunition through my Taurus G3. The 124 grain was stellar. I mean, it performed like a champ, dude. It was amazing. It shot better than the 115, and it wasn't just I had already put plenty of rounds through the gun before I started filming because I was anxious to shoot this thing. The 124, amazing, dude. It was awesome. I even put 147 grain Hornady Custom through, and I could not group as well as I did with. I'm thinking this is like a 124 to 127 grain handgun. I mean, this thing is just fantastic. So
a lot of the European ones, like the 124, 125, mid 120s.
Yeah, this stuff was, and it wasn't really. I didn't notice much of a difference in the recoil at all. It was just the accuracy, man. So I wanted to talk about the G3 because there are a ton of videos out there for it right now, and I mean it is a larger version of the G2C, but there's a lot of differences between it. You got a standard pick rail up on the front. Obviously, you've got the elongated grip. The magazines are compatible with the G2C, the 15 and 17 rounders. 17's got a small base plate extension on it. You do have steel sights, which are a little low and a little dim. I'm maybe thinking about replacing these at some point. The coating is basically the same as the G2C. And the trigger on it, again, we are clear. So I can show you guys the travel we're looking at here, okay? So you've got a fat, thick trigger. It's nothing at all like the G2C trigger. I mean, it's different, has a different break. So you've got about a ½ inch of take up here. No, it's about 3/4 of an inch. And it breaks, but it still doesn't touch the back of the frame like the old G2C trigger. And the reset is it's about the same. It's about a ½ inch, okay?
Wait, so is that double action only?
Well, is that what we would call it? Yes, and
Well,
it does have the second strike capability too. Yeah.
So it picks.
Well,
it up
no. Let me take that back. It's not okay. How to explain this? Your trigger pull is a lot lighter. Okay, this is lighter, and when it fires, it's almost like we call it single double. It's almost like a Beretta, to be honest with you. Like if you were to decock your Beretta, the pull on that second shot of the Beretta is what it would be like if you had to use second strike. So if I pull it, it's light and it's crisp and it breaks. But if the round wouldn't go off, it goes back to this full trigger pull. And then you have this long, heavy, deliberate pull that's probably closer to 8 pounds or 9 pounds. And then it breaks. Yeah.
Is that a striker fired or internal
yes.
hammer?
I believe it is striker, if I'm not mistaken. I do not believe it's internal hammer. But this heavy pull that you have when it's on the second strike mode, that's not what it does. Every time it fires, it is going to recock itself. It is going to be a lot like the single action pull. So it's very light. Yeah.
It's a striker fired that the trigger picks up the striker in the down position. So it's kind of cool. It gives a striker fired as second strike capability.
Well, here's the funny thing about it. The PT111 G2 basically had the exact same trigger, if I'm not mistaken. It was identical. So here's the internals. It's just like the regular PT111 G2. You've got your striker back there.
So your sear picks up that is high enough and goes far enough forward to pick up that striker in the down position.
Yep.
Where it is right now. Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, and okay, here's the best part about it. 230, 235 before taxes, 240. Most places are 250 or less. Let me ask you guys this question. Is there another new handgun out there you could get? Well, I guess we got the Walther Creed for $249, but what options are there for $250 to get a 15 and a 17 mag capability brand new right out of the box? Is there anything that even comes close to that?
How much is a Security 9?
300? I would consider Security 9. That's a fantastic gun too. Probably what, Kingpin, 250, 270? Well, everybody's markets are different. Let me check while you guys talk about that.
Yeah, generally you could find it anywhere from 250 to 300. And as long as you live in a free state, you can get a 15-round magazine with it.
Yeah, the Firearms guy just did a video comparing the G3 and the Security 9. He said in his area in Michigan, they're around the same price.
So, question. I know, like, all these guns that are coming out, there's nothing that's inherently better with, like, that one than a Glock or Smith & Wesson or whatever have you out there. Do you think the lower initial cost is worth the less track record of the firearm?
So real quick, Security 9, $337 out the door for me, so it's going to be even more expensive than the G3. You know, Foos, I don't know, it's an interesting question because I remember Mr. Guns and Gear tested a TH9 and it broke the firing pin, I think, within 1,000 rounds. So, you know, and that's a $260 handgun.
Yeah, I paid after taxes and all the bore lock and all that kind of stuff. I paid $325 for my Security 9.
Well, that's good. That's a very good price. I'm surprised that. Well, now for me, that's after sales tax, $337. Probably about $310, I suppose, before. So,
how much are these?
It's a little unfair to compare it to the Glock, but you could always just change the trigger. I'm not a Glock fan, and the Glock that I own for about 15 minutes, I like my Security 9 better than that.
No. So
those are 17.
Kingpin, I just spit out my food when you said that.
So the only reason I said Glock is because of the track record some of those firearms have. Is it worth half the price for something that you don't know if it's going to be breaking soon or not?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, for somebody in your position, maybe not, because you're putting thousands and thousands of rounds down a year. Me, there was no question. I'd buy another Security 9 before I'd buy another Glock.
Well, yeah, I have a Glock 34, shot it for less than a month, and it's been sitting upstairs forever.
But with this Taurus, all it is a scaled-up version of the PT111, right?
No, well, yes and no. Okay, the trigger mechanism and the trigger are different. The overall look is similar to the PT111, but you got a full pick rail this time. Steel sights. Whereas you didn't have that with the PT111 G2. You only had a 1-segment pick rail on that also. 15 round, 17 round capacity. I mean, to me, it's almost kind of like the P365 and the full size P365 or whatever. It's kind of that idea. You get the overall design cues of the PT111 G2, but you obviously have a longer. It's a bigger gun overall, but the trigger mechanism's different. So I mean, there may be cousins less than they are siblings. So
it's different. So
yeah, I mean, it's not
okay,
the
so you
lower the frame.
You can't take the reliability of the older gun and just call this one good based off of that. Then is what you're.
Well,
okay.
and this one also has a steel guide rod and spring combo too. It's all steel.
So the reason I mentioned this is still goes back to that SIG 365.
Mm-hmm.
People are railing on that it's now all fixed, and do we really know? Do we know if they have everything fixed? Just like some of these other guns, maybe range to weight, it really doesn't matter. But if you're going to carry it or have it for heavy use, is it worth that?
Kind of reminds me of cars these days. Are they making cars to last 200,000 or 300,000 miles like they used to, or are they just making cars to last 100,000 miles before they need major overhaul? Is that what's happening with a lot of cars these days? Because with guns, I mean, we've got a lot of guns that come out and they start to have problems after 1,000 or 2,000 rounds. I look at my Sky CPX2, which basically fell apart within 1,000 rounds. You say, well, that gun's not designed to be, that's that gun. Well, if that's the only gun you have and you're supposed to practice with, and we keep preaching about train with your gun, train with your ammo, go to the range every week, be proficient with your firearm, and it falls apart. I mean, at what point should we put this back on the industry to actually care about the quality of what goes into their product,
Oh, going back to the security nine.
So in that case, it needs to be up to the manufacturer to have a suggested round count, being like, just like like a set of tires, they're rated for X amount of speed. If you go past that, they're past their rating. If you go past 1,000 rounds, past what the gun is designed for, should manufacturers do that? And then all of a sudden, you'll start having manufacturers up their quality, because they'll be like, 1,000 rounds isn't much, even if you are brand new to it. 1,000 isn't a lot of anything.
Oh yeah.
So
now, one thing I want to say about this is you do have a lifetime warranty, but again, and I've said this before, I get so many people that put comments on my videos. Well, I got the lifetime warranty and $250 out the door, I'm set. It doesn't matter if the gun doesn't go bang, right? It doesn't make any difference if you got to send it to the shop every 500 rounds to get something fixed on it that's broken. So honestly, I would say go with a good high quality. What's that?
And then it's gone for a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah. Well, I mean, luckily Taurus now has US based repair facility. Hopefully that fixes things. But I want to see some long term reliability tests on this. But I have family members that have PT111 G2s running all stock internals, no modifications other than just sights, and they've got lots and lots of rounds on theirs. I mean, I think I put probably 600 or 700 rounds through mine before I got rid of it, which is not much. But I also had several other guns that I was rotating through the channel. But I mean, I ran the heck out of that one before I sold it. My stepdad's got one. He's put countless rounds through his. I mean, So, I mean, going off the lineage of this, I would trust it. I mean, honestly, we want to see how well this new trigger mechanism holds up. But, I only did 150 rounds with this one when I was there, 200 rounds, and that was it. But that's all I had time for because it got dark. But I would buy one. I mean, a new one, put 50 rounds, 100 rounds through it. Just get yourself comfortable with it, clean it. I would feel confident that it's going to go bang. I don't think it's going to be an issue. So, but if you don't trust that, go get yourself a nicer gun. Go get yourself a Glock or an M&P, or get yourself a SIG. Buy one good primary gun, and then maybe dabble in a few other firearms.
So that's something else I've noticed with these more budget firearms, like the Tauruses, your Canics, your
250, man. Yeah, Canics are usually around 349 and up.
So you get in those, and you don't have the aftermarket support. You don't have people that are making, pins and stuff. Or
no, you do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
PT111 can be completely customized. On mine, I had a stainless steel guide rod inside of it. I ended up getting this this special sleeve they had for the firing pin that eliminated the hell was it? It eliminated either the lock or the drop safety from it, or it was one of the two. I had Trigicon night sights on it. Now they also sell an aftermarket trigger for it that completely changes out the trigger for a completely different model.
Okay,
it goes with a 2-piece trigger. So yeah, there is.
Okay, so
yeah,
that's good. I mean, that's something you have to look for in a more of a budget firearm. Is if something breaks, can I fix it without sending it back?
And here's kind of that mic drop moment. Mech-R mags. All right, Taurus hardly ever does that. That's one of the things that people always complain about. The PT-809, there's still people trying to find new mags for their guns. And, that was moved out in place of the TH9 and the TH40. I don't know if those mags are compatible, but I know that, having a major manufacturer mags for this thing, and the fact that you can order mags all over the place now, that's definitely nice. Because originally with the PT-111 G2, there weren't a lot of extra mags out there. Now they're all over the place. So yeah, you're right. I mean, aftermarket support. Can you get mags for it? I had a FN9C compact, and I bought one of the first ones that came out. 6 months, 8 months later, I still couldn't find mags for it. I don't even know if the FN website even had them for sale. I was looking around all over the place, and nobody had them. I wanted replacements for the one that came with the gun, not a larger one. I wanted ones that had the same base plates because I think mine came with 3 different magazines. And I mean, I was kind of frustrated with that because I wanted to practice with it more, and yeah.
Speaking of mags, if anyone got on the Beretta Model 81, the 32 ACP, Classic Firearms now has mags.
They got a whole case of them, man. I saw the screenshot from that, or the thumbnail from it.
The bad thing is you could only order 2 at a time.
Okay.
They put a limit on it, so I just put 2 orders in of 2.
That's why you have your significant other order some for you. No. You order some, and
I did it back to back, and they both took.
Dude, that's a heck of a deal. I mean, and honestly, don't get me wrong, I love this horse. This is great, but I mean, as another gun, I would have liked to have also tried maybe a Milsurp gun instead, or a couple Milsurp guns, or maybe I still would like to pick up a Star BM. There's a lot of CZs out there I'd like to pick up. Those Beretta 81s, 82s, 83s. Those are really, really nice shooters. Those are freaking soft shooters. The quality and craftsmanship on those things is just second to none.
So
they're awesome.
I have an 81, the 32 ACP. I know it's only a 32, but it seriously feels like a 22.
Yeah.
But it's centerfire. So it's
you got that full metal construction. You've got that nice heavy barrel. You've got a good slide. I mean, it's just in the way it's built and as smooth as they are, they're just as good as a 92, 92 series.
Except it's smaller.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to step in front of 7 or 8 rounds of 32 ACP to the face either. I mean,
and that goes same with your CZ82 83s.
Yep.
Some very similar construction.
Now, John Doe, we're not going to talk like that on my channel, buddy. Let's not go spread any hay, bud.
I just wanted to mention that in case someone was living under a rock or didn't get to see anything in the past couple of days.
And Calavera says, Travis P11, go ahead.
I can't see the chat, so I apologize if something needed to be taken care of.
We'll head on over there right now. We're not going to be hating on anybody in general because everybody's coming after our guns. It's not just one particular religious and or ethnic group, bro. Just to let you know. Okay, it's everyone.
I mean, and then, of course, whenever you go with a CZ Model 82, you also have to have a caliber in its I have another gun in the same caliber like the Makarov that I stole from Travis.
Yes.
So
exactly. Someday I will have that Makarov. Someday I will. And the longer I wait, the more it's going to cost me, which is the worst part about it. So.
It's still upstairs.
Oh man, don't even tell me that.
If I ever want to sell it, you'll be the first one I contact.
Yep.
You never know. A shipment of those things could come into the country and suddenly the value plummets.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, man. It was the Makarov, so at some point we'll have that. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about the G3. I give it an initial thumbs up. I haven't heard of anybody having any problems with it. I had no problems with it. I ran 3 different grain weights through it, over 150 rounds. I had a blast with it. It was a good gun. I mean, I'd buy it as a firearm for a family member or a friend. In fact, this one might even be going to a friend this summer. We've been talking about maybe him purchasing it and stuff. I'd like to maybe pick one up in stainless. It'd be cool if they'd make this as a pro model without a safety, but I don't know if they ever will. At least they're listening to our concerns, the metal sights, the metal guide rod, something with a larger capacity. I mean, Taurus is definitely kind of making a turn in terms of what they offer for $250 or less.
So what benefit does that metal guide rod have to you?
Okay, the problem with the PT-111 G2s, when they first started making them, eventually I think they got this figured out. There were coils that were basically just breaking off the end cap of the guide rod, The guide rod was just like, or the coil was skipping, the end cap was flexing and the coil of the recoil spring was popping off. And it was jamming the gun in a locked closed or locked open position, and you couldn't fire it. You basically had to send it in at that point, or Taurus would walk you through a de-jamming process that it would take to get the thing apart. And so that was a problem. So a couple companies that like Galloway Precision and Lakeline LLC came out with a full-length stainless guide rod with a spring. And you could also get different pound weights of springs if you want to, depending on what you shoot. I always went stock, but you could go with an aftermarket stainless unit if you wanted to.
Yeah. Okay.
And also that gun, the PT-111 G2 and the G2Cs have trouble chambering critical defense rounds. Anything that has like a polymer tip in the hollow point, they would have trouble chambering them if you had like a weak slide release. If you didn't give it, a nice pull and rock or whatever, it wouldn't chamber the first round properly. So they'd have some problems with that for a while. But then if you get that stainless rod, you've got yourself a lot more tensile strength. You have a lot more pressure and force with it. It's able to chamber the round with more authority. I did the same thing to my SD9 VE too.
I'll put a different spin on the answer to that. Boosh, I'm in a plastics factory right now. Trust me, you want metal on your gun.
And no, I mean, and I think Glock engineering is obviously superior to what Taurus had for their engineered recoil spring and guide rod, and I mean, Taurus even knew they had a problem with it. They would send out guide rods to people without a question. You'd usually get that when you have to send your gun in.
So the reason I asked that is I did not know it was captive. I thought it was just a guide rod. I thought it was a
guide rod spring combo captive. Okay. It was captive. Air captive. Yep.
All right. Yeah. So that tells me out. I was thinking it was non-captive. Then it really doesn't matter.
Okay. Hey, real quick, guys. Solo Yakker's in the house. Solo Yakker, welcome, man. Joining a little late. What's up, fellas? Solo, we're doing great, buddy. You keep doing what you're doing, guys. I want you to check out Solo Yakker's channel. He's going to be giving away a firearm, but he represents a really cool group of firearms enthusiasts down in Florida. I want you guys to check out his channel. Got some great videos. A couple scary videos as of late, homie, but you guys are doing an awesome job. I mean, scared for your safety, but you guys are doing an awesome job with what you're doing, so keep fighting the good fight, man. Definitely good stuff, so... the next thing I wanted to talk about real quick is I just wanted to show this off. It's about ready to go out to the range. We have got the Bear Creek Arsenal Upper PSA Lower 762 by 39 AR. And again, I don't want this to turn into an advertisement for Bear Creek Arsenal, but they do sell some inexpensive great uppers. This upper with the 16-inch barrel, M-LOK handguard, it's about $209. So I got 209 in the upper. I've got one. Well, the lower was only 109, but I've got some furniture from TacPack I threw on here. So 209 for the upper, 109 for the lower. Bipod's just a little $15 jobby. Primary arms, classic scope up on the top. 4016 by 44. This whole setup right here is about $500. That's all you're looking at right now. And I haven't had a chance to shoot it yet, but I mean, I've used the lower before. I've actually used the lower on the 224 Valkyrie. This is just the 10-round mag that comes with it. This is the C Products Defense 10-round magazine. These are $20. 762 by 39. This is what I'll be benching it with. But I've also got a couple 30-round mags for it also. And I know they're kind of atrocious looking, but
they have to be.
That's in order to get that angle. But these are $20 a pop. But still, man, the thing is, I can shoot this thing for just, pennies on the dollar, man. I get 40 rounds for $10, and I'll be testing it with a bunch of different kinds of ammo and so on. And I'm pretty excited to take it out. Yes, it's a Daniel Defense. I kind of thought the one-piece trigger guard grip would be kind of cool. I really don't like it. It's just real weird and thin up towards the top. So I'm probably going to take it off and go Magpul. But, I mean, this is fine. But it was the same price as going Magpul by buying two separate parts. But I'm not 100% sold on the pistol grip. But I also haven't fired it yet, so I don't know. So I'm pretty excited to take this one out. So... And again, like I said, not to make it a Bear Creek Arsenal commercial, but they do sell uppers in 350 Legend, I believe 450 Bushmaster, and 450 SOCOM. If you go check them out, they got a lot of different calibers, 243. And the problem is that $200 for an upper, I mean, it's almost a habit. You just want to start buying them and collecting them so you can start shooting these other calibers or adapt it for whatever your hunting or self-defense needs are. So
I know you guys talked about the 350 Legend.
Yeah.
What actual diameter is that?
357 is your bullet. It's a 223 Remington parent case. I don't have all the specs in front of me because it was from last night, but
no. I was just wondering if it was a true 9mm, 355, 356. But if it's 357, that is more of your 38 special.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And what's nice about that 350 Legend, being it's backed by Winchester and pushed by Winchester, your Full Metal Jacket ball ammo for it is like, we were looking at $8.07 for 20. And you're getting a very powerful round. So it offers a lot for the money, man.
Well, even on top of that, just for plinking and reloading, you could use a 357 bullet, which that's made for 38 Super or 38 Special or 357, and you're good to go.
Yeah, you got a lot of options, man. I mean, that's one thing that's really cool about it. And I mean, there's a lot of platforms available on it, whether you want to go bolt action or semi-auto or whatever. There's a lot of options. And it answers the ability to be able to use a straight walled cartridge in some of those states out in the Midwest that have since opened up, allowing guys to go from beyond slug hunting for deer to straight walled cartridges. So you got a lot more options now, and it's a little bit less recoil than some of those bigger cartridges, but still pretty good velocity, pretty good power. At least out to say 150 or 200 yards. Rolling Trip says the Daniel Defense grips are horrible. Yeah, I thought it, and I took it out of the box at the store and held it, and I thought, man, this is nice. But then once you actually put it on the firearm, it's just weird. Like you're just like squeezing the frame up towards the top, and I just don't like that. I don't know how I'm going to get used to that. So I'm probably just going to swap it out and go MOE like I always do. I tend to have really good luck with mag pull. So, all right, so let's go and get into what everybody came here for today, the 450 Bushmaster. Right, 450 Bushmaster should be pretty cool. We'll do a little comparison between 450 Bushmaster, 458 SOCOM, 50 Beowulf. 350 Legends kind of its own separate thing, so I don't know if we'll really compare the two or three together like that, but we could. So what I like to do, give you guys just a little history lesson, and I do this every time. A little bit of background on 450 Bushmaster because it's still a relatively new cartridge. So let me just talk about the idea behind it, just get into the ballistics. I don't have a ton of information on it, but here's what you need to know about 450 Bushmaster if you've ever been curious and why people would be interested in it. And again, the overriding theme with all these new calibers we're talking about is the ability to adapt it to your AR platform. The fact if you got an AR lower, you get the upper for a couple $100, you get yourself a mag, you're in business and you can already start applying it for whatever you want. So that's one of the cool things about the 450 Bushmaster and the 350 Legend. I can't remember if 458 SOCOM uses a AR-15 5.56 lower. It might be proprietary. I can't remember, but we'll get that. We'll get there when we talk about 458 SOCOM. So quick little history here on the 450 Bushmaster. Here's what you need to know. It is a rifle cartridge developed by Tim Legendre of Lemag Firearms or Lemag Firearms and licensed to Bushmaster Farms International. 450 Bushmaster is designed to be used in the standard M16s and AR-15s using modified magazines and upper receiver assemblies. 450 Bushmaster is descended from the thumper concept popularized by gun writer Jeff Cooper. Cooper was dissatisfied with small diameter 5.56 on the AR-15 and envisioned a need for a large bore 44 cal or greater cartridge and a semi-automatic rifle to provide one-shot kills on big game animals at 250 yards. Inspired by this, Legendre developed his 45 Professional cartridge and later built and delivered an AR-15 and 45 Professional to Cooper. Bushmaster requested the ammunition manufacturer Hornady to produce the 45 Pro cartridge for this project, but Hornady wanted to shorten the cartridge case to accommodate their .452 250 grain pointed SST flex tip bullet. Bushmaster and Legendre approved, and the change from 1.771 inches to the now standard 1.7 inches also brought the name change to 450 Bushmaster. So a little bit about it. 450 Bushmaster is a high-pressure rifle case, thus making efficient use of heavy 452 bullets. The cartridge is chambered in bolt-action rifles, and they talk about the companies. Ballistically, the 450 Bushmaster has a rather flat trajectory out to 200 yards. If the firearm is zeroed at 150, the user can expect to see a rise of 1.8 inches at 100 yards, a 0 at 150, and a drop of 4.9 inches at 200 yards. So that's going to make it perfect for a lot of you guys that have to fire those straight-walled cartridges, and then also might be going after, say, deer or large to medium game. Other nice thing about it, the cartridge fits single stack in a standard AR-15 magazine with a single stack follower. A 10-round AR-15 magazine body yields 5 rounds. Now, I don't know if you could use that 10-round mag with 5 rounds in it and not be over a 5-round capacity limit in some states, because if you got an empty mag and that empty mag is in your gun and it's a 10-round mag and it's hunting season, you might need to be careful with how you do that. You might need to pin it or maybe buy a 5-round AR mag and run 2 to 3 rounds of 450 Bushmaster in your AR if that's what you want to do. A 20-round AR-15 magazine body will yield 9 rounds of 450 Bushmaster, and the 30-round body yields a 13-round magazine. Hornady, Remington, and Federal now manufacture ammunition for the rifle, and Starline manufactures empty brass for hand loading. Guys, what are your thoughts on 450 Bushmaster? I'll talk about the power and the velocity here in just a second. Any ideas? Any thoughts on it at all? Any interest at all?
I've been around two different ones, an AR and then that break open, break action model. I can't remember who's the make on that, but it's a more affordable way to get into the platform for hunting. And I shot the AR once, and I thought it was manageable. I mean, there was a bit of a bang and a flash. Yeah, it was the kind that after you shoot it, you turn around and kind of giggle like a little kid. But that's about all I've really done with it. That's about all the experience I've got. I don't know about any other firearms chambered in that.
Okay. Just talking about so ballistics here. What are we looking at? Here's this article I got. Where's that at? Yeah, so your 450 Bushmaster, you've got a 250 grain round that's running at 2,214 feet per second with 2,722 foot-pounds of energy. They've also got a 260 grain AccuTip that you can get, 2,180 feet per second, 2,744 foot-pounds of energy out of a 20-inch barrel. Comparatively speaking, if we look at 450 Bushmaster versus 350 Legend, 250 grain 450 Bushmaster round is going to be pushing out of the muzzle 2,448 foot-pounds of energy, whereas 350 Legend is going to be pushing 1,599. And then 50 Beowulf, a 300 grain FTX 50 Beowulf is going to be pushing out 2,405. So the 450 Bushmaster is superior in terms of muzzle energy to a 50 Beowulf and a 350 Legend. But when you look at 458 SOCOM, a 250 grain round is going to be pushing 2,565 foot-pounds. So it starts to turn into kind of a pissing contest, pardon the language, so to speak, about you start to get on, you start to go with similar grain weights, you're just incremental, 100 pounds of energy, 50 pounds of energy in certain loads. So, it is a very stout, capable, powerful round that I am very interested in. I don't know, guys, what are your thoughts on that? See, Fushi still around? Is he still with us? Hopefully he's still here. Oh, Kingpin says he's switching over a computer. So, again, looking at the energy and the capability of it, I think if it's something you want to go with, man, if you want to consider it for hunting, man, you want a wicked hog gun, that would definitely do the job. Ammo, let's check out the ammo prices real quick. What's it going to cost you for some 450 Bushmaster? 20 rounds, and this is where it starts to sting a little bit. Defender Ammunition has brand new manufactured 450 Bushmaster, 230 grain plinking rounds, all right? $19 for 20 rounds. So we're looking at 92 to 95 cents per round, 98 cents per round, $1 a round. You can get into some nice 240 grain XTP hollow point remanufactured by Precision One for $20 for 20 rounds. It's not going to be cheap for you to play around with unless you've got the money to burn on it, and if you do, more power to you. A case of 400, 230 grain round nose would cost you $392 at 98 cents a round. No, so it is going to be an expensive little hobby, but from a reloading perspective, yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Diameter is 452.
That's a 45 Colt.
45 Colt. You could probably even use 45 ACP.
Yeah.
And you're looking at, 250 grain. Download that to a 230. Dude, you're good. Again, ball nose, go out there and look for a plated round, and you're good. So reloaders, that's one good thing that a lot of these newer manufacturers are coming out with the same diameter as these pistol rounds.
Yeah, I wonder how a 175 grain 45 ACP round would perform in that.
Ooh, that's a good question.
That'd be, you'd have to have it jacketed because you're already looking at 2,200 feet per second out of a 450 grain. So
yeah, they're jacketed hollow points.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, if you're jacketed hollow points, yeah. The only issue I think you'd have is it's a
452.452 inch diameter bullet.
Right. No. For that reloading, that 175, is that a round, like a round nose or truncated, or what is it?
That's just a standard hollow point. If you look like a Hornady critical defense, and
Okay.
the one that they do 175 grains.
Yeah, you know how you have these wad cutters and stuff like that, and that probably won't feed because it's too blunt. Won't hit the ramps right. But other than that, you should be good.
So, Foos, what did you say? What would it cost a person to reload this? Can you just give me a ballpark figure? Give me an idea here. I mean, I know obviously we don't know the powder cost and the shell. Let's just say you've got the brass, right?
You have the brass. You're looking into projectile. Let's say if you...
It's a 284 Winchester parent case, by the way.
Yeah.
You have to run some numbers and get back with us on that.
I'm looking at Barry's manufacturing.
Yeah.
Hold on. So,
real quick comment out there. Tennessee Gun Guy said, I believe that Ruger makes an American Ranch in 450 Bushmaster. Yes, they do. I believe that and a 458 SOCOM. Maybe. They do, and I know they do 350 Legend also because I think we looked at it last night. So you might be looking at maybe $500 or something like that to get into one in a bolt action.
So you can get $145. You can get 500 rounds of Barry's 458 SOCOM 350 grain round nose. So 150 divided by 500 plus what, maybe 5 to 8 cents for powder, and then 3 cents for the primer. So whatever that.
True.
So let's do this.
Did a little bit of Google foo for you there, Travis.
Yeah.
What I see here is when I typed in 458 SOCOM by Ruger, I'm getting a lot of people that have converted their Mini 14s to fire 458 SOCOM, but so far it looked okay. It says 458. So they call it the Mega 14.
Oh, wow. Were you checking to see if they make an American Ranch? I'm looking for guns that are for sale right now that are chambered in 450 Bushmaster. Oh, you're looking at 458 SOCOM?
Yeah, you want me to check Bushmaster?
Yeah, you look up, see if you can find a Ruger. Oh, I found, okay, there's Mossberg.
So reloading with these Barry manufacturing, if you have your brass, you're at 40 cents a round.
Oh, wow. Dude, that's okay. That's definitely the way to go. Yeah, once you get the brass, you're all set. I'm kind of curious what that Starline brass costs too. I'm kind of wondering what that, if you're going to go new. David, I did find it. Ruger does make an American Ranch in 450 Bushmaster, 3+1, 16.12 inch threaded barrel for MSRP of $599. It's probably around $500 new.
Yeah, that's the same one I came up with.
Okay.
It looks pretty slick too. I like how the Ruger Ranch stays with that green or whatever color.
Oh yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, man, that 762 by 39 that I have, I just freaking love that thing. That is my favorite rifle. You can use the Mini 30 magazines with it. Those are a little pricey, but it's just dead nuts accurate. It's such an awesome rifle and cheap to shoot all day.
So brand new. Hold on. What is it? 30 plus.
So I'm going to see real quick if Ruger makes a 458 SOCOM in the Ranch series. Yeah.
So it's 40 for the projectile plus. If you use all new stuff, it's a $1.20, $1.25. If you use all new stuff around.
So it's going to be more than new, but I would just say just just sink the money, buy yourself 300 or 400 rounds of whatever works best for you, and then fire that, keep the brass, and then go from there.
So there's kind of a rule of thumb. If you want to reload, don't buy new brass. Buy loaded ammunition. They could load it for cheaper than you can because they're going to – it's just the way it is. If you want once fired brass, go out, buy it, load it, shoot it, and you have once fired brass. That's kind of the thing for reloaders, especially when we get into rifle stuff. Pistol, that's totally different.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I just ordered a big box of brass. They'll have about 20, 25,000, 40, and then it'll probably be about 85, 90,000 pieces of 9.
Oh, dang, dude.
for $1,600. I'll have to pay shipping, but
you don't get free shipping on that?
No.
Oh, man.
It's going to come in a 4x4 by 4 foot box.
Okay.
Be about 1,000 pounds.
Oh, dang, man. You got a little bit of work ahead of you, huh?
Yeah.
Just a smidge.
I'm still not finished with the 55-gallon drum I had from last year.
Got to take care of business, son.
Well, I'm starting to shoot some more 40.
Yeah.
So I just decided to, pull the Band-Aid off.
Oh, there you go. Just finally get into it. Yeah. Let's see. You can get yourself 1,000 rounds of 450 Bushmaster, 250 grain flex tip for $993. So again, yeah, if you are a reloader, consider the 450 Bushmaster, or even the 450 SOCOM, because you're going to be reloading it for about half the price of what you're looking at if you're going to be buying it new. So I mean, yeah, from just comparing it to these other rounds, I mean, I think if it's one of those options that you have for a hunting round, straight walled cartridge, I would personally go with the 450 Bushmaster over 350 Legend. Just because there isn't much difference in the price of the firearms, and I'll talk about what's available for options out there in a minute. Yeah.
So 458 SOCOM, you get what, 8, 10 in our mag?
9 in a 20 round mag, or what did I say in there? 9 in a 458 SOCOM. I don't think that's AR mag compatible. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I hadn't researched 458 SOCOM for quite a while. I can't remember if that's proprietary or not off the top of my head. I don't know.
Okay.
So
I thought it was designed to fit inside of an AR mag.
As noted above, the cartridge is designed to be 100% compatible with the M4 platform. Okay, so the included buffer spring NATO magazines, aftermarket 5.56 mags, and magazine well in a 5.56 caliber cartridges stacked in a staggered double stack fashion. However, with the much larger 458 SOCOM rounds, single stack without any modification to the standard GI magazine, feed lips, or follower. Okay, there you go.
So you're probably looking at
20 rounds will hold 7 rounds of 458 SOCOM. 30 round mag will hold 10. Yeah, 10 458 SOCOMs.
So if you reload minus the brass, you're looking at $5 a mag.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's the
that's
round
one way to look at it.
I'm looking to get into is the 458 SOCOM. Don't ask me why. I don't know, but that's the one that's piqued my interest lately.
Well, if you want to stop a terrorist truck running down a mall, that would definitely be the way to do it. So that's well, I mean, hey, by the way, you could probably get that in a Ruger pistol version too, there, David. So we'll have to look into that one next week.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a lever action in that.
Have they made one? I know they make a 6.5 Creedmoor lever gun now.
Yeah, I know why Kingpin wants the 458 SOCOM. He's watched Clover's video where he's shooting pumpkins with it too much.
Just instant pumpkins. Just instant pumpkin basically is what it makes right out of the can, or what is that?
Yeah. Basically.
So do you guys think that's just what we're going to end up seeing? More calibers that fits the AR?
Absolutely. I don't see why they wouldn't do that.
It seems like it starts off with some of these higher end companies, say making. There's a few companies that came out with that first, mass production 243 AR, 300 blackout, and then you start to see the uppers popping up for sale. And there's a lot of lower price uppers that are out there. And I mean, a lot of people, to me, it's just like another accessory to have around in my AR. Yeah, I'll go buy another upper for $200. I mean, yeah, then I can shoot that caliber if I want to when I feel like it. I'm not uppers dedicated to that caliber. It's not wearing and tearing up any other uppers that I have. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with me, man. That's what got me on this. That's why I bought this one. Like I said, I'm 200. I mean, I already got an AK, right? I want to dabble in AR47s because I'm curious to see what the problems are that they have, to see if they run well. I mean, I'm curious to see, how well do these magazines work? Are these any good? Are they garbage? I mean,
Yeah, so Midnight Range has a very good comment out here.
What's he saying?
If you live in a mag-restricted state, go out and get yourself one of these Bushmaster uppers, and then you could get your 10-round mags for your AR, and you're good.
Well, just so you don't get caught on a technicality, you might only have 5 rounds of your ammo in the gun, but if you have a 10-round mag, and the law says you can only use a 5-round mag or 6 rounds total.
Well, I was thinking about these 10-round, like New York or whatever, for rifles where you can only have mag restriction of 10 rounds or something like that.
Yeah.
Where you could buy a regular magazine, but it's for your Bushmaster.
Yeah. People were doing that in Canada. They were going out and buying 50 Beowulf magazines because they couldn't have any more than a 5-round magazine. So they would go buy the 50 Beowulf magazine and use them for their 223s, and they get more rounds in them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And was that technically illegal or not?
It's
It was
legal
a
if you get it
loophole.
for-
I don't think they ever got prosecuted for it, but it was definitely a loophole.
It was a gun show loophole. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's a way probably around to purchase them and not be able to get dinged on them if you get caught not having them limited to a 5-round of 223. You could be like, hey, that's for my Beowulf. But if you get caught with having 30 rounds, it'd probably be an issue.
I'm looking at some of these guns for sale. Like I'm looking at the ATI. They got a Millsport carbine chambered in 450 Bushmaster, MSRP $699. So you're probably looking at $600, right? Capacity 5+1, but it looks like it comes with a 20-round mag. So I'm like, are they throwing? I mean, just a 20-round mag in there? That's probably what they're doing. So, looking at a few more of the rifles, you've got HMR makes a bolt action for it. Bushmaster, obviously, they have several AR pattern rifles you can go with. There's a lot of other companies, a lot of higher end companies that make rifles for it too, like companies I've never even heard of before here. Probably should. Mossberg has a Patriot series, so you can get into it. Let's see the Mossberg. Let's see what this would cost. A basic Mossberg with a 20-inch fluted threaded barrel, 4+1 capacity, 450 Bushmaster, MSRP of $422. We are looking at. It would cost me $357 out the door. The gun itself is only $324. So, I mean, it's not for a little more than the cost of an AR upper. You get yourself the full rifle if that's the way you want to go. And that already has the mounts for your scope. It's already got the little rail sections up there, your Weaver rails.
With that, it might be proprietary mags, and if you want extra mags, you might end up paying like $50.
Don't think these are mags. I don't know if it's detachable box or not. Let's see.
Okay. Internal?
It is box magazine. Box magazines, yeah.
But are they proprietary?
Yeah, this probably would be for the Mossberg because I've got the 6.5 Creedmoor Mossberg Patriot, and it's their proprietary magazines also. They make the Predator bolt action rifle also, and that would have been cool if they would have adapted that for AR mags. That Predator rifle looks almost identical to a Ruger Ranch. Seems like it's got a longer stock, longer handguard on it section, but 16.25 inch fluted threaded barrel, 3+1 box magazine. That one MSRP on that's only $455, and that's got a pick rail on the top of it. Man, that'd be a fun little. I don't know if you'd want to go with the hog gun or not with the bolt action, but I suppose you could. Other options, you've got the Ruger Gunsight series, which are pretty pricey, but they're nice. Ruger Ranch is $599 MSRP for $450. You got an AR556 again, David. AR556 chambered in 450 Bushmaster, and I think they've got a pistol version too. Let's see here. I don't want to do a screen share. It's just easier this way not to. They got the Tallow edition or Tallow edition Gunsight Scout, which looks pretty sweet. It's got that. You put your optics up towards the front of the receiver. Savage has a cool looking Scout version of it. Savage Wolverine, Savage Apex Hunter XP. Those are a little pricey. You start to get into MSRPs of $700 and $800. Wyndham makes a $1,300 450 Bushmaster pistol with a 9-inch medium profile barrel, melanite finish, 5+1. That'd almost be more of a toy than anything. But I mean, if you want the ultimate and home defense, that would probably do the job. Savage has the Engage Hunter XP for $716. So there's no lack of firearms out there for this caliber. I mean, I don't remember exactly when it was first created or when it first went into production, but I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. And the fact that so many companies have ammo for it and ammo is readily available, I would say if you're interested in one, man, go for it. Be ready for probably some stout recoil, especially if you're not going to go semi-automatic. I know this almost interests me more. I mean, 350 Legend, sounds great, sounds awesome, but this almost kind of, to me, almost appeals to me a little bit more just for the sheer stopping power of it, just for the extra energy you're going to get out of it. Granted, the ammo cost is going to be triple what 350 Legend is going to cost you, but
what about availability, though? Is 350 Legend on every shelf right now?
I can get it. Walmart has it. Our Walmart has the basic ball ammo 350 Legend on the shelf. They do carry it. Now, I don't know if they're going to get rid of it just because of their ammo ban or whatnot, but
probably not because it's not a. Well, I mean, it still is an intermediate cartridge, but
now, hey, my local farm supply store, our Orchlands here, has 450 Bushmaster on the shelf. They have it, and they'll get in if you request a caliber. They'll get it in for you. You tell them what you want, as long as it's not like some super high end hand load $60 box stuff or whatever. They'll get you whatever you want. So you can get your Hornadies and you can get your, whatever, your nicer rounds, your Winchester X series and fusions and stuff like that. So they'll get it. So I can get 450 Bushmaster locally, and 350 Legend. And I'm just in a little town of 10,000. So, I mean, it's not, I don't have a lot of options for ammo if I want to buy locally, unfortunately. So it's definitely an option. But like I said, you can get your AR uppers. And I think that Bear Creek also does AR pistol uppers too for 450 Bushmaster. I'm going to just check the website real quick. I mean, there's nothing wrong. If you want to go PSA, go PSA. If you want to go, Bear Creek, or you want to go Radical, if you want to go Radical Firearms, they've been making a 450 Bushmaster and a 458 SOCOM for a long time. One of the two or both. I mean, I haven't looked up their products for quite a while, but let's see here. So you can get a 458 SOCOM upper from Bear Creek Arsenal for $200, and that's going to be like a traditional M4 style. But then you can also get it with an M-Lock handguard and a key mod handguard, 16-inch barrels, 219, 229. That's a complete upper, by the way, guys. That's with the bolt carrier group and the charging handle. They also make a side charging model if you're interested in that. But most of the Bear Creek uppers are anywhere between 200 and 250, and that's the majority of them. So you've got plenty of options. So if you got an AR lower sitting around and you want to have some fun, and here's the thing about this, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. On the secondary market, you'd have no trouble selling that 450 Bushmaster upper. As long as it runs well and say you're just not interested in the caliber, it wasn't what you thought it was, you could easily sell that. And it's not a firearm. So it would be easier for you to sell. You wouldn't be restricted to selling that unless your state has an ordinance against selling uppers, which I don't know if any states really do.
It's hard. I couldn't see why they would.
And you could have, there might be features on it that aren't legal in your state, but it doesn't violate your state law until you put it on the lower and you officially make it a firearm. So if you don't have the right kind of flash hider on it, or you've got some kind of feature that your state doesn't allow, you can still get it. So, I mean, even on the aftermarket, you could easily unload one of those things and sell it quickly. So, let's see here. Kingpin, what's going on with the comments? Am I missing something or what? Somebody else join in or?
No, I'm not a fan of censorship. And Travis T wrote, Black Hat Outdoors, I need to make sure YouTube didn't unsub me. I can't remember the last time I got last notification I got for you, and YouTube held that comment. So I just wanted to let Travis know that YouTube censorship thought that was in need of review.
Well, it was interesting that the comment didn't get flagged that guy had just made a little while ago and I did that because I'm not going to tolerate any anti-Semitic comments. I'm not Jewish at all, but we don't promote that kind of thing on this channel. That's not what we're about. So
all people are equally worthless.
There you go. There you go. I don't know. So I mean,
make there's a difference between like banning that guy. Well, I don't believe in hate speech, but I believe in kicking jerks out. Yeah. And if that guy's not going to add anything to the conversation except for racism, then he's got to go. But something stupid like what Travis just put out there, that's the kind of censorship that I'm not with. And I definitely respect whoever the host of the show is, whether it's PG or rated R or whatever. I go with whatever the host of the show goes with. Yeah. And I think that, it's pretty clear that everybody in the chats is cool and they follow along by the rules. Sometimes there's a slip up here and there, but, there's different reasons why people like PG chats and different reasons why people like rated R chats.
Yeah. Yeah. No, man, I hear you, dude. I agree. Travis T, he doesn't have a moderator status. I thought he did. No, I was going to check. I was going to go ahead and grant him that if possible. So let me just check and see here. No, Travis T, you don't. That's weird. I thought I made you here, Travis T. We'll go ahead and make you a moderator. All right.
So,
and New York Outcast, you too.
Another question. With all these ARs going with having all these different rifle calibers.
Mm-hmm.
I know the PCC's been around and is a hot thing.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have something that shoots a Beowulf or 450 or whatever gun you have that shoots a bigger caliber? Would you also get a PCC to be able to practice with that same kind of diameter or same kind of recoil or something like that? Because you're not going to be able to put what you want to out of 450 Bushmaster or something like that. Unless it's straight for hunting, then that's a little different.
If I was going to do it just strictly a pistol caliber carbine, it would be either a 45 or a 10 millimeter. Anything. Mm-hmm. I would go a 10 millimeter. I'm just thinking like something like a High Point 10 millimeter carbine. I mean, those are fine. Or even a dedicated, AR pattern, whatever. 45 or 10.
Well, I was saying to complement your big bore, because recoil
I see what you're saying.
Stuff like that isn't going to be sharper than a 223 or something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With a 45 or even a 10 mil, something that's a little cheaper to make you be able to practice more. Unless it is straight for hunting, then that's totally different. You may put 10, 15, 20 rounds a year down it, just like you would with a 30-06 or whatever for hunting.
Yeah, I would definitely, and I would use the same lower. Just so I'm comfortable with the lower, the stock, the position of the stock, any accessories I have on it. I would use the same lower and just swap out the uppers if I was going to do that. Just bounce between a 45 and a 450 Bushmaster.
Well, you'd have to put insert into the mag.
Not for the 450 Bushmaster and the. We would. Yeah, you would.
Going smaller. Yeah.
Is there the magazine, the modified magazines? Isn't there somebody makes an aftermarket kit for that? Is that only for 9 millimeter?
I've seen it for 9 mil. I don't know. I'll have to look.
That's a good point. I think about that with your insert or having a dedicated lower. So yeah, I don't think that'd be a bad idea. Because I mean, at $1 a round or 50 cents a round, it's gonna be a little pricey for you to do a couple hours of practice every week. Like I said, unless you got the money. If you got the money, more power to you. Do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. New York Outcast says, "OMG, I got a wrench. First ever? Really? Seriously, bro? Man, I thought you. Wow. Wow. All those. New York at Rob. Oh, was it Rob D or is it New York Outcast? Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, man. Well, congratulations, man. That's a big responsibility on your shoulders now. You're helping me supervise the playground. So, yeah. Anybody else want a wrench?
You get a wrench.
No, and you get a wrench. And you get a wrench. Wrench. Armament gets one. You get a wrench. It's kind of funny. Some people jump in this podcast for the first time, like, "Oh my God, look at all the blue here." It's funny. I was watching a podcast from this couple that lives up in Canada, and they just. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know what they make content on. They seem to host other channels. They promote other channels, but when they live stream, I don't know how they do this. Everybody is granted moderator status on their podcast. So everybody making a comment has moderator status, and it's completely civil. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I originally started watching it because they were talking about how changes were coming to Hangouts and what that was going to encompass, and the changes to Chrome and how it was going to affect content creators. And I kind of got hooked on their channel for a while. But when they would live stream, everybody was a moderator. I wonder how I can turn that option on. There must be something somewhere on YouTube that grants moderator status to everybody. And they can still boo people out if they had to, but it was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, man. So I don't know. What are you guys all talking about out there? Kingpin tossed me my first wrench, Travis T said. Armament says, "I will wrench for you." You know what, Armament? I think it's time. I think we need to bestow you. I had the Travi christened the Armament and Axis as a moderator. There we go. It's official. You're now a moderator for the channel.
One of these days, I'm going to have a wrench, and I'm going to find Midnight in the chat that doesn't have a wrench. I've got some payback coming to him.
I don't think that's going to be possible, Kingpin.
Yeah, Midnight's got more wrenches than Snap-on.
Oh man, I'm looking at almost everybody has one that watches. I don't know if Jason Stewart or Travis T are interested. I could grant you guys one too, because you guys are and Tennessee Gun Guy also.
I don't do very many live shows, but I give everybody a wrench too.
There you go, man.
I haven't had it. This is my first live show that I've even been on. Well, yeah, since Hangouts is gone.
No, you've been on Caliber Corner a couple times. You've come in. Weren't you on my 4th of July show when we talked about the 1911?
I don't know.
That was one of the early shows I did on StreamYard. So yeah,
maybe, but it's been a while.
What's going on, New York? I dare somebody to say something bad about 9mm now. I wouldn't want to step in front of it. I mean, say what you want, but Armament says I have the power now. LOL. Down boy. Calm yourself.
Well,
down boy. That's right.
9mm, honestly, is the next 22. with all these.
Ooh.
No. I'm sorry. I'm talking
Ooh.
about like no. So all these PCCs and stuff like that are coming out. Would you rather have like start teaching your kid on a 22 that's really not reliable, or stick a mag in an AR PCC and run that?
True. I never thought about that. I would say go with the 9, especially with as light shooting as those are going to be. I mean, the recoil on that's going to be comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
Rich White says 9 millimeters for Germans.
My friend has got the high point 40 cal, and the thing is fantastic. And then his wife's father has got the 9 millimeter, and it's just as cool. I mean, you can knock the high point pistols all you want, but we've put that high point rifle through all kinds of terribleness, and it fires like a gem.
There's a couple places on Gunbroker that are selling the 10 millimeter carbines for $229. That with like 20 or 30 bucks for shipping. That's an amazing price, man. You're probably looking at about $275 after an FFL transfer fee, but still, you know.
But with them, you're still looking at a single stack mag.
Yeah, but they're going to be making, or they have those red ball mags for them. Well, they're single stack, but they're double capacity. They're kind of ridiculous looking, but you know, this things could change if High Point starts to shift towards the double stack mag arena, like they're going to do with the new E-Cannon when it comes out. Maybe they'll start to bring that over to their other models also. All they had to do for that was like hollow out the grip or use different grip panels, and they had the width that they needed for double stack mags on their handguns. They're 9 millimeters. So
well, hasn't High Point got to where you can also use some Glock magazines now? Because I know for the longest time you couldn't. Well, my friend got his.
You know, you're right. No, it's the 40. Is it the 43X or something, or what? One of the X series?
Yeah, one of the newer Glock Glock pistols you can use in High Points now.
I think I heard that, but it's been a while, because that was when kind of people were talking about the new mags and, you know, the single stacks and stuff like that. I would think so.
One of the problems with High Point is until maybe like a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago, you couldn't buy any accessories from High Point. You know, if you wanted to change the stock or whatever, all that kind of stuff, you had to buy aftermarket stuff. And now High Point's finally opening up. I think they got like the digital sand camo now and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. There's still a good aftermarket following for like muzzle brakes and charging handles and stuff like that. And you got that company. What is it? High Tower Armament that makes the bullpup stock for the High Point carbines. It's about as much as the gun, but it looks pretty sweet. They're popular. They're back ordered like crazy. I mean, you can look at them if you can say what you want, but they look pretty cool. I'd like to have one just for the fun of it. So one of us in gun channels that has that conversion, don't we? Is there somebody that has that? The High Tower conversion? Does Sarge have that? Somebody's got a High Point carbine they converted over with the bullpup conversion.
Sounds like Rupan to me.
Maybe, yeah. Is it Rupan that has it? I can't remember. I
don't know, but he would definitely have something like that there.
Oh, those hipster kids. No.
He likes all the crazy stuff.
Oh, there you go. So anywho, well, guys, I'm probably going to go ahead and call it. I think we've covered 450 Bushmaster in detail. We talked about the energy levels of the velocity, the firearms platforms, the ammunition selection, the reloading costs, the new ammunition costs, the application of it, the history. I think we went through it pretty good. So we'll talk about 458 SOCOM next week. We're kind of like going to be kind of backtracking and comparing it to 450 Bushmaster and 350 Legend, 50 Beowulf, and all that fun stuff. And maybe I'll bring you guys an update on the 762x39 AR build and see how well that runs. I'm maybe going to be able to get it out next week. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's see what's going on. I'll keep you guys updated on the bathroom remodel too. That's going to be happening. So, Squib is back here. So anyway, 38 Super. There you go. All right, guys. So anyway, joining in this evening, we had Tacos and French Fries and New York Outcast and Kingpin and Rich White's out there and Blue Steel 44, Travis T in the house, Armament and Axis, New York Outcasts. Tara Smith was out there also. Midnight Range was joining us. Travis T was out there. Let's see here. Who else was in the house here? There's a lot of people joining. Rich White's out there and over here. Black Hat Outdoors in the house as always. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Again, not my usual time. We'll be back next Monday at 6 o'clock, unless things fall apart again like it was last time with my internet connection. Weston Probst was out there too. Hey. All right, Weston, welcome to the club, buddy. Thanks for watching. Tennessee Gun Guy, always in the house with us. Jason Stewart was out there too. Let's see, Kingpin, Armament Axis. I think that's about everybody. D-Temp 62, Calaveras 32 Special, Solo Yacker in the house, Tacos and French Fries. And that is it. So this has been Caliber Corner episode number 108. where we talked about the 450 Bushmaster and kind of giving you some options for that and discussed it a little bit. Arizona, awesome. Austin's in the house. All right, welcome, man. Welcome. Nice to see you here. But in the meantime, guys, join us next Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time over on gunchannels.com and also on YouTube. You can watch the channel if you want to. Like and subscribe. Share this video around with your friends and family. We try to keep everything as family-friendly as possible. Make sure you guys check out Tuesday nights, our little hit or miss special over on Night Strike's channel. We'll be starting up at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock East Coast Time. And then after that, we have the Get Off My Lawn podcast over on the Sandhill Shooter channel. Make sure you guys check that out also. Otherwise, I think that's about it. So let's let the panel give their outros and we'll call it. Squib, anything you want to say before we go?
Thanks for the invite, and pretty good topic again.
Yeah, it was kind of a fun one to talk about. These straight walled cartridges. I got a feeling it's going to be kind of expensive for us once Black Friday comes around and we start to have a little more pocket change. We start looking at some new calibers. So
yeah, you know what I always say: just put it on your credit card.
Put on your credit card. Yeah, that'll get you so far, and then you can't put anything else on the credit card. So
yeah, but if we can put stuff on Squib's credit card, then I'm going out and getting that 50 BMG.
Dude, his number's out there on Google. It's so easy to find. You just contact the Russian mafia, and they'll hook you up with the whole. I shouldn't be talking about that now. So, I'm just messing with you.
That would explain why some of the Speaking Squibbish I haven't published.
Mm-hmm.
People have gotten the transcripts from them.
Oh yes, there's collusion. Collusion. Read my lips. No collusion. No
Hillary
collusion
Clinton
there.
is innocent, and she's the purest, most wonderful person that's ever lived.
No, she's not.
Nice knowing you,
man. Oh, hey, real quick, Midnight Range. Wanted me to tell you guys.
Would go down.
Before I forget, Closer is going to be having the 100th episode this Sunday. He wants me to try to be there. I will try to be there if I can. I will stay up late. It's going to be a school night, but I will stay up late for you, Midnight Range. So shoot me a link. Everything goes well. I should be home. It'll be good. I'll join in with you guys, but do check out Midnight Range TM's channel for the Closer Sunday nights. 10 o'clock East. 10 o'clock East Coast time? No, 11 o'clock East, 10 o'clock Central.
Closer to 10:30 to 11 o'clock Eastern.
Okay, and it runs till 5 or 6 in the morning, right? Is that how it goes?
Hey, as long as there's 20 people watching, he can't stop.
See, I think Midnight Range is trying to make us hungry so that once breakfast comes around, we'll go eat in his restaurant. He's like, he keeps us online long enough that we start getting hungry for pancakes and omelets. He's like, hey, guys, come on over to my restaurant. I'll be going to work in an hour. So, yep. All right. And Rich White, you want to plug your channel before we go, buddy?
I done did that at the beginning of the show.
All right, I gave you an opportunity. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Yeah. Sunday nights, 8-ish, somewhere around 8 o'clock Eastern, we do This Week Unloaded over on the Unloaded Media channel.
Cool.
So check that out. And like I said at the beginning, we usually go until Midnight Range sends his links out. Okay. Unless he's not doing a show, then we'll be on until 6 o'clock in the morning instead.
Awesome.
If you don't believe me, look at my channel. We have some episodes that are approaching 7 hours.
I don't doubt it at all. And one of these days, I will join you guys on one of those episodes. That'd be awesome.
You should have been there the night that today me and Gary ran 15 hours straight doing live cast.
Did you take a bathroom break? How'd you guys do that? Did you have somebody sing a solo and then you ran off and go to the bathroom and come back and then you go potty? Or how do you have a jug in front of you? How do you do 15? Yeah. I can't even go an hour and 50 minutes without hitting the head, man.
Yeah, we started on Gary's Sunday morning show.
Oh, my God.
And then when we were done with that, G-Web's fired up a chat, so we jumped over there. And then something else came up, and we jumped over there. Then my show, and then Midnight Show. We were on 5 shows in a row.
Oh, dude, that's insane, man. It was just like a mini series.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. All right. Well, hey, thank you again for holding down the fort and showing Caliber Corner episode 107, the lost episode, over on your channel. You got to change the name. Make sure you put that in the title. Caliber Corner number 107, the lost episode. I think you did, didn't you?
No, I just shortened it to where it was only saying 350.
All right, man. All right. Well, appreciate you being here. So thank you so much. Foos, you want to say anything before we go, buddy?
Not really.
All right. Foos has been joining in. Appreciate it. The Makarov will be mine. Oh, yes, it will be mine. All right. Kingpin in the house. Any final comments, buddy?
Awesome as always. Thank you so much for the invite. Tuesday's a pretty big day for gun channels.
Yeah.
You got around 5:30 Eastern, the beer chat with Black Hat Outdoors. Then Ghost Tactical starts at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Hit or Miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock, starts at 9 o'clock. And Sandhill Shooter starts at 10. So plenty of really cool gun channels content on the interwebs on Tuesday. So make sure you check it all out.
Right on, man. Right on. I thought there was something I was going to say, but I can't remember now. That's about it. So guys, make sure you do check out those shows tonight, and it should be a good evening. So yeah, it'll be a good one. All right, so we'll see you guys next Monday. And again, this has been episode number 108, where the Caliber Spotlight was on the full 50 Bushmaster. And do check that round out if you get a chance. But in the meantime, I think that's about it. Yeah. All right, guys, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. Y'all take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye-bye.
Adios, Felicia. Adios, Felicia. Te amo mucho. Mi amor. Mi amor.